Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Xenos Wisdom. Let's start with a brutal truth. Most men are wasting their time chasing women who will never be interested in them. And I don't mean that in some mean-spirited way. I mean it as a wake-up call. If you are sitting there thinking that persistence alone will make a woman suddenly fall for you, it's time to stop lying to yourself. The harsh reality is that no amount of texting, compliments, or attention can make someone feel something they don't feel. And yet so many men out there keep playing a game that is rigged from the start. Why? Because society, movies, and dating advice have convinced them that they just need to try harder. That is complete nonsense. Let's be clear. Being ignored or rejected isn't a reflection of your worth. It doesn't mean you're unattractive, unlovable, or inadequate. It simply means that her interest isn't there. And that's a fact you have to accept if you want to grow, improve, and eventually attract the right kind of attention. Too many men get trapped in what I call the chase loop, where they invest time, energy, and emotions into someone who doesn't see them as a priority. And the worst part, it erodes your confidence, drains your energy, and keeps you from focusing on women who actually reciprocate. Here's the controversial part. If you're still chasing someone who's not interested, you're basically training yourself to fail. And society doesn't tell you that. Instead, it glamorizes the idea of relentless pursuit. Movies romanticize it. TikTok glorifies it. Advice columns sugarcoat it. But reality is simple. Chasing someone who doesn't want to be caught is a recipe for frustration. And you know what? Most men never wake up to this truth until it's too late, until their self-esteem is low, their social life is weak, and they're stuck, wondering why love or connection feels impossible. Now, and I know this may sting, but listen carefully. The first step in turning things around is acceptance. Stop pretending that interest can be forced. Stop wasting your energy on signals that don't exist. Stop lowering your standards just to get someone to notice you. The more you accept reality, the faster you can redirect your energy towards something that actually works. The men who succeed in dating aren't necessarily the best looking or the richest. They're the ones who understand human psychology, recognize the signals, and know when to walk away with dignity. They've mastered the art of control over their own emotions instead of being controlled by someone else's lack of interest. Here's a harsh truth you won't hear everywhere. If she's not interested, continuing to pursue her makes you less attractive. That's right. Desperation is the ultimate turnoff. And no, it's not unfair. It's biology and psychology at work. People are drawn to confidence, decisiveness, and self-respect. When you chase someone who clearly isn't interested, you signal the exact opposite. Neediness, insecurity, and lack of self-awareness. If you want to improve your chances with women, the first step is reclaiming your power. And that power comes from walking away. But walking away doesn't mean giving up on love or romance. It means playing smarter, not harder. It means shifting your energy toward women who see your value, who appreciate your effort, and who actually want to engage with you. It's about being proactive in your life, building yourself up, and understanding that your time and energy are finite resources. Every hour spent chasing someone who isn't interested is an hour lost that could have been used to improve yourself, grow your social circle, or meet someone amazing. Throughout this video, I'm going to give you 7 concrete actions to take if a woman isn't interested. These are practical steps designed to help you regain control, boost your confidence, and stop wasting time on dead ends. They aren't manipulative tricks. They aren't mind games. They are strategies rooted in self-respect, clarity, and reality. Things that most men overlook when they're caught up in rejection or frustration. By the end of this, you're going to realize something very powerful. Being ignored doesn't make you weak, unattractive, or unlucky. It makes you aware of what doesn't work, aware of who doesn't belong in your life, and aware of how to move forward strategically. If you can embrace this mindset, you will stop chasing women who don't value you, and you will start attracting women who do. That's not just theory, that's reality, plain and simple. So, buckle up, because what I'm about to teach you is going to challenge everything you think you know about dating. Some of it will make you uncomfortable, and some of it will make you angry. But if you have the courage to listen and apply it, your results will improve. You're about to take the first step toward dating smarter, not harder, and toward finally understanding what it really takes to get a woman interested. Let's be honest. Most men fail at dating not because they're unattractive or boring, but because they refuse to accept reality. They ignore the signs, make excuses, and convince themselves that persistence will magically create interest where none exists. Here's the truth. It won't. If a woman isn't showing interest, no amount of charm, attention, or effort will change that fact. And yet, countless men continue to invest time and energy in someone who doesn't see them as a priority, thinking they're playing the game correctly. Newsflash, you're not playing any game, you're just losing your own. The first step is brutal, but necessary. You must recognize when a woman isn't interested. Notice her actions, not her words. Actions speak louder than empty promises or vague compliments. Does she consistently cancel plans, respond late, or give one-word replies? Does she avoid spending real time with you or make you feel like an option rather than a priority? If the answer is yes, it's time to accept it. Stop overanalyzing every little interaction. Stop wondering if maybe, just maybe, she'll change her mind. She won't. Accepting this reality isn't a weakness. It's a form of strength that very few men possess. Here's why this step is so critical. Chasing someone who isn't interested doesn't make you romantic. It makes you desperate. Desperation is a magnet for disrespect. The more you chase, the less attractive you become. Women are wired to respond to confidence and self-respect, not neediness or insecurity. By clinging to someone who doesn't care, you signal exactly what turns people off. That you value their attention more than you value yourself. And that, my friend, is the fastest way to make someone lose interest permanently, even if they were slightly curious at first. Now, let's put this into perspective. Imagine you've been messaging a woman for weeks. She responds occasionally, but her messages feel cold and brief. You find yourself waiting hours, sometimes days, for a reply. You plan your day around her availability, and when she finally shows up, it's clear she's distracted or disengaged. You convince yourself that if you just try harder, things will change. But in reality, you're training yourself to tolerate rejection and frustration instead of recognizing that your effort is going to someone who isn't invested. The moment you accept that her lack of interest is her choice, not your failure, everything changes. You stop giving her power over your emotions and start taking control of your own life. Accepting reality doesn't mean you walk away bitter or angry. It means you walk away strategically. It's about understanding that your time, energy, and attention are finite resources. Every moment you spend on someone who isn't interested is a moment wasted. Moments that could be used to improve yourself, meet new people, or simply enjoy life. The men who succeed in dating understand this principle. They don't plead, they don't chase, they observe, decide, and act accordingly. By recognizing disinterest early, you preserve your dignity and protect your confidence. Here's where most men get it wrong. They confuse rejection with inadequacy. Being ignored or rejected doesn't make you unworthy. It makes you aware. A woman who isn't interested is simply not aligned with your life at that moment, and that's okay. You can't force feelings. Trying to manipulate or persuade someone into liking you will only backfire and leave you emotionally drained. Instead, focus on cultivating a mindset that allows you to accept rejection gracefully and move forward without resentment. This doesn't just improve your dating life, it strengthens your entire approach to relationships, friendships, and even career challenges. One way to shift your mindset is by setting clear boundaries for yourself. Decide how much time and energy you're willing to invest in someone before it becomes counterproductive. When you notice her lack of interest, respect it and step back immediately. For example, if you've been making plans and she cancels repeatedly without a good reason, stop rearranging your schedule to accommodate her. Instead, redirect your attention to friends, hobbies, or opportunities that actually add value to your life. This doesn't make you mean or unkind. It makes you self-aware and self-respecting, which is far more attractive in the long run. The lesson here is simple but powerful. Acceptance is freedom. When you accept that a woman isn't interested, you release yourself from a cycle of rejection and frustration. You gain the clarity to focus on relationships where your effort is appreciated and reciprocated. And most importantly, you send a message not to her, but to yourself, that your value isn't determined by someone else's attention. Confidence, after all, isn't built on approval. It's built on self-respect and clarity. So, the next time you feel the urge to chase someone who's not interested, pause and ask yourself, am I doing this because I genuinely want to connect with her? Or am I doing it to fill a hole in my ego? The difference is everything. Accept the reality. Step back and redirect your energy toward the people and experiences that genuinely matter. It may feel uncomfortable at first, but this is the step that separates men who struggle endlessly from men who live confidently and attract attention naturally. Let's face it, most men give away their power without even realizing it. They tie their self-worth to someone else's attention, letting every text, glance, or lack of response dictate how they feel. This is a trap, and it's one of the biggest reasons men struggle with confidence in dating. The moment you let another person control your emotions, you stop being the person in charge of your life. You start reacting instead of acting. And here's the thing. Women notice that. They notice when you're constantly seeking approval, when your mood depends on them, when your decisions are shaped by someone else's interest or lack of it. That's why reclaiming your power is critical. Reclaiming your power starts with a simple principle. Your life is yours, not hers. Your happiness, your confidence, your energy, these are all under your control, and no one else gets to take them away unless you allow it. Stop waiting for validation. Stop overthinking interactions. And stop letting rejection feel like a personal failure. Confidence doesn't come from someone liking you. It comes from knowing your value and living in alignment with it. The moment you stop letting her indifference dictate your mood, you start standing taller in every aspect of your life. Here's something every man can relate to. Feeling frustrated after sending messages that go unanswered or after making plans that get canceled without explanation. That frustration can eat away at your confidence if you let it. You start questioning yourself. Am I not good enough? Why doesn't she like me? These questions are natural, but when you dwell on them, they give away your power. Instead, recognize that these situations are not a reflection of your value. They're simply signals that your effort is not being matched. And that's okay. Knowing this allows you to shift your energy back where it belongs, on yourself. Reclaiming your power also means building a life that doesn't revolve around a single person's attention. Develop your passions, strengthen your social life, and pursue goals that make you feel accomplished and alive. When your life is full, engaging, and meaningful on your own, you stop needing someone else to fill a void. You become magnetic, not desperate. women naturally gravitate toward men who have purpose and direction. There's nothing more attractive than someone who knows what he wants, enjoys his own company, and isn't dependent on constant approval. Another crucial aspect of reclaiming your power is learning to control your emotional responses. It's easy to feel hurt, jealous, or insecure when someone isn't interested. But these emotions only give away your control. Instead of reacting impulsively, pause, assess the situation, and respond with clarity and confidence. You don't have to ignore your feelings, but you should never let them dictate your actions. Emotional self-control is not about being cold or distant. It's about being aware of your value and refusing to compromise it for someone who isn't invested. The men who succeed in dating understand this deeply. They don't chase validation. They don't overanalyze interactions or waste energy on someone else's mood swings. They cultivate a strong sense of self, a lifestyle they are proud of, and a mindset that values their time and effort. They understand that their energy is limited and precious, and they invest it where it is appreciated. And the best part, this doesn't just improve your dating life. It transforms your overall confidence, making you more resilient, assertive, and attractive in every area of life. Here's something to reflect on. When you focus too much on someone else's attention, you're essentially giving them a seat at the helm of your life. They dictate your mood, your choices, and your self-perception. But when you reclaim your power, that seat is yours. You decide where to invest your energy, what emotions to act on, and how to engage with the world. You're no longer a passenger in your own life. You're the driver. And that shift changes everything. It's not always easy, especially if you're used to seeking approval or external validation. But the men who master this step quickly realize that freedom and confidence are far more attractive than desperation or dependence. Reclaiming your power doesn't mean ignoring women or shutting yourself off. It means living in a way that naturally attracts attention because you're operating from a position of strength. You don't have to chase. You don't have to plead. You simply move through life with confidence, purpose, and clarity. And the right kind of interest will follow naturally. So remember this, your energy is valuable, your time is limited, and your confidence is your greatest asset. Reclaiming your power starts with focusing on yourself first, refusing to let someone else dictate your emotions, and building a life that doesn't rely on external approval. When you do this, you stop being needy, desperate, or reactive, and you become the kind of man that naturally attracts respect, interest, and connection. It's not about manipulation or tricks. It's about awareness, discipline, and self-respect. And once you embrace this, you'll realize that the women who are truly interested will naturally align with your energy, while those who aren't will fade away without costing you your confidence. Here's the truth that most men refuse to admit. Too many of you are chasing the wrong women while ignoring the ones who actually appreciate your attention. You get stuck on someone unavailable, someone disinterested, or someone who treats your effort like it's optional. Meanwhile, there are women out there who are noticing, respecting, and valuing men like you, but you're too busy wasting your time on dead ends to see them. And that's the problem. You've trained yourself to pursue scarcity instead of abundance. You've been taught, or maybe convinced, that the harder you chase someone, the more likely they'll notice you. But in reality, this behavior screams desperation and insecurity. Wake up. This approach isn't just ineffective. It's holding you back from the kind of relationships you actually want. Redirecting your energy begins with awareness. You need to recognize the difference between someone who is genuinely interested and someone who is giving you crumbs of attention. It's easy to justify your actions. Maybe she's just busy, or I just need to try harder. But these are excuses. They keep you trapped in a cycle that undermines your confidence and self-respect. The women who matter, the ones who will invest their time, attention, and energy in you, don't require manipulation, games, or excessive effort to maintain their interest. They show up, they respond, they engage. And if you can't see that, you're missing the obvious signals. Here's something most men can relate to. Spending hours texting, overanalyzing responses, and constantly trying to get someone to notice them, only to feel frustrated or rejected again. This behavior isn't clever. It's predictable. It's not attractive. It's exhausting. You're giving away your power for free, while ignoring women who are actually open, engaged, and excited to connect with you. Stop pretending that persistence is a sign of strength. It's not. The men who are truly attractive understand that the right relationships come naturally when you're operating from a place of confidence, self-respect, and clarity. Redirection is also about mindset. Too many men act like attention is scarce, like women who value them are impossible to find. That scarcity mindset is the root of desperation, jealousy, and overcompensation. The truth is simple. There are women who will notice, appreciate, and value you for who you are. But you have to be willing to stop chasing those who won't. You have to wake up and see that your time and energy are not unlimited, and that investing in someone uninterested is like pouring water into a bucket with holes. It disappears, leaving you empty and frustrated. Instead, focus your effort on connections that are mutual, where your presence is wanted and valued. Another part of this wake-up call is understanding that attraction works both ways. If she's not interested, continuing to pursue her isn't persistence, it's self-sabotage. You're telling yourself that you need her validation to feel worthy, and that's exactly what keeps you stuck. Men who thrive in dating know that self-worth comes from within, not from approval or attention. Once you accept that, you stop wasting energy on dead ends and start engaging with women who naturally respond to your energy. You begin to see dating as a process of alignment rather than a battle for approval. Here's the reality. Some of you need to hear this straight. Stop being lazy in your self-assessment. Stop assuming that her disinterest is a mystery that only you can solve. Stop thinking that persistence equals success. And most importantly, stop giving away your time and emotional energy to people who don't value it. That behavior is not only unattractive, it's a waste of the most valuable resources you have. Wake up. Evaluate who's actually giving back in your relationships and redirect your energy toward those who are aligned with you. When you do this, two things happen. First, you reclaim your dignity because you no longer allow disinterest to dictate your emotions or actions. Second, you naturally attract people who respect your time, attention, and confidence. The women who are genuinely interested will gravitate toward you, not because you chase them, but because you've created a life that shows you're valuable, self-aware, and in control. That's how attraction works. It isn't about chasing, it's about demonstrating that your life, your energy, and your presence are worth valuing. So here's the wake-up call. Stop wasting your life on someone who isn't interested. Stop chasing approval and start seeking alignment. Focus on women who are present, engaged, and excited to be with you. Stop confusing desperation with persistence and excuses with effort. Your time, energy, and confidence are too valuable to give away to someone who doesn't recognize it. Redirect that energy wisely, and you'll start experiencing relationships that feel mutual, fulfilling, and genuinely rewarding. The moment you redirect your energy, you stop playing a losing game and start living a life where your value is recognized and respected. That's not just advice. It's a reality most men refuse to face. Wake up, take control, and invest in what truly matters. Here's the truth most men refuse to admit. If you're struggling to get a woman's attention, it's not because you're unlucky, unattractive, or somehow missing a magic formula. It's because you've been wasting your energy on the wrong people, chasing approval, and ignoring your own worth. And here's the really controversial part. Most men will never wake up to this truth because they're too comfortable playing the victim. They'll continue complaining about women being hard to read or not, giving them a chance when in reality, they're the ones giving away their power and teaching women how little they need to value them. That's not just unfair, it's embarrassing. Let's be clear, you are not entitled to anyone's attention or affection. That's a concept many men struggle with, and it's exactly what keeps them stuck. You can be kind, funny, ambitious, and confident, but if you invest your time in women who aren't interested, you're essentially paying rent in a house you'll never own. And here's where the controversy comes in. The harshest truth is that women are not responsible for your feelings or your ego. You are. Every text you send, every attempt to get someone's attention, every moment you let rejection hit you hard is entirely your responsibility. That's a hard pill to swallow, but it's also the wake-up call you need. So, what should you do? First, accept reality. Stop chasing women who aren't interested, and stop pretending that persistence is romantic or impressive. Recognize the signs, take the hint, and reclaim your life. Accepting rejection is not weakness. It's a superpower that most men never develop. When you accept it, you stop giving away your energy to someone who doesn't value it and start redirecting it toward people and experiences that do. That's how confidence is built. That's how respect is earned. Second, invest in yourself. Build a life that you're proud of, one full of goals, passions, and social connections. When you focus on your own growth, you stop being reactive and start being magnetic. You stop chasing and start attracting. The men who succeed with women aren't chasing validation. They're living their lives fully and letting interests come to them naturally. And the ironic truth, when you focus on yourself first, women who were once indifferent suddenly start noticing you. But here's the thing, that's not why you do it. You do it because your life has value on its own. You do it because you refuse to let someone else dictate your self-worth. Finally, redirect your energy. Stop wasting time on dead ends and start engaging with people who genuinely appreciate your effort. That doesn't mean you manipulate anyone or play games. It means you recognize where your energy is truly valued and act accordingly. Most men never do this because they are afraid of missing out or being alone. But here's the brutal truth. If you keep investing in people who don't reciprocate, you're not only wasting time, you're training yourself to accept less than you deserve. And nothing kills confidence faster than repeated self-sabotage. Here's my challenge to you. Wake up. Stop believing in excuses. Stop blaming circumstances. And stop chasing people who clearly aren't interested. Take responsibility for your time, your energy, and your emotions. And here's the most controversial statement in this video. If you're constantly pursuing someone who doesn't care about you, you are the biggest obstacle in your own life. That's right. No one is holding you back except your own choices, your own habits, and your own refusal to accept reality. Most men will never admit this, but the ones who do are the ones who start winning in life and in dating. Now I want to connect with you. I know that hearing this might feel uncomfortable or even a little confrontational. That's exactly the point. Growth rarely happens in comfort. So here's what I want you to do. Comment below your experiences. Tell me the times you've chased someone who clearly wasn't interested or how you realized your energy was being wasted. I will read your comments and I will reach out to some of you. This isn't just about teaching. It's about creating a connection, a space where men can wake up to the truth together and learn to reclaim their lives. Because the truth is this: no one else is going to fix your dating life or your confidence. You have to do it. And the first step is always the hardest. Admitting that your habits, your mindset, and your choices are what have been holding you back. But once you do, everything changes. Once you stop chasing disinterest, invest in yourself, and redirect your energy toward what actually matters, you become unstoppable. Confidence grows. Attraction happens naturally. Life feels lighter, freer, and more aligned with your goals. So, here's the final word. Stop blaming her. Stop blaming society, and stop blaming your circumstances. Look in the mirror. Take responsibility. Wake up. Your energy, your time, and your attention are the most valuable things you have, and how you spend them determines your results. Comment below. Share your story. I want to hear from you, and I promise to connect with as many of you as I can. It's time to stop wasting your life chasing what isn't yours and start building the life and the relationships you actually deserve.